I'd like to call to order the regular City Council meeting for May 4th, 2026. Normally we have public comments. Renee, do we have anyone public comments? Okay. At this time, I'll ask Councilman Butch McSwain if he'll lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance. If you please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call Reverend Alicia Conley from Mount Zion Baptist Church to lead us in an invocation. Alicia, thank you so much for being here.
Good evening, and let us pray. Eternal God, we come this evening thanking you for your faithfulness and for your provision. Lord, we thank you for the mayor, for the city council, and for the staff that you have provided for this city on every level. God, we thank you for every person that has joined together this evening to work for the common good of this city. God, may you continually bless this council and generously give them wise and discerning hearts to skillfully govern the people in our city. As they come tonight to discuss important matters, we ask for your guidance and for your wisdom. Lord, we know that you are the source of knowledge and understanding. Therefore, we seek your direction in the decisions that are made here tonight. God, help this council to listen attentively to each other with open minds and with open hearts. Give them grace to bring truth, justice, and equity to our city. Now, God, in this season in which we are living, in this time in which we are living, God, we ask protection for our council, for the residents, and for the citizens of this city. We ask, God, that you will encourage this council to continue to move forward. And God, may the work that is done here on this night and each and every day lead to progress for our city and to long-term good for our community. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Alicia. I'd like to introduce council. To my far right, Wendy Cato, Mayor Pro Tem, Chris Jernigan, City Council, Keith Rigsby, our City Attorney. I'm Ronnie Thompson, the Mayor, Sally Sandy, our City Manager, Butch McSwain, City Council. We have Renee Carswell, our City Clerk, our Assistant City Clerk, Jessica Lohman, and interpreters for the deaf community, Ernest Williams and Danette Stillman Bridges. We have some service pins tonight. I'd like to call Mark Hall forward. Ask Chris if you'll please present that 20-year pin, please. Mark?
Mark, on behalf of City Council and the Mayor and the citizens, it's a pleasure to present you with your 20-year pin, and thank you for all the hard work that you've done throughout your 20 years here. You've made a big difference in helping us throughout the city with our planning and all of that, and now, of course, in your new role, you're going to be a great asset to us again, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Chad Medford, our studio production specialist. If he'll come forward, I'll ask Butch if he'll make that presentation.
Didn't expect him to hit the door running. Chad, 20 years, man, it's downhill now. Yes, it is. And I want to thank you. Let's get around here. Okay. People at home can hear us. I particularly want to thank you for the way you go about things. You're always at these special events we have. You have things set up for us, and you make them enjoyable. You have that sense of humor at your job that is really enjoyable, and look forward to doing about 10 more years of that.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We also have a pin for Crystal Hastings, 20 years in public safety. She was unable to be with us tonight. Under public advocacy, we have several proclamations that I need to read. And the first one is Morganton Blue Star Salute Day. Whereas throughout the history of the United States of America, the sacrifices necessary to maintain our liberty and freedom have consistently been borne by citizen soldiers. And whereas countless men and women of our great city have proudly worn the uniform of the United States Armed Forces, and whereas many of our fellow citizens are now serving today as members of the active military, National Guard, or reserves, and whereas Armed Forces Day 2026, it is appropriate as citizens and families to reflect upon the sacrifices of our citizens and to celebrate their dedication. And whereas the citizens of Morganton, North Carolina, desire to honor and acknowledge those who serve in uniform for their sacrifice and preservation of our American way of life. Therefore, on behalf of the Morganton City Council, I, Ronnie Thompson, Mayor of the City of Morganton, do hereby proclaim Saturday, May 16, 2026, as Morganton Blue Star Salute Day, urging all citizens of this community to honor our citizens who are serving today and who have served in our armed forces. Adopted this 4th day of May 2026. Ronnie Thompson, Mayor. Renee Carswell, City Clerk. Wendy, I'll ask you if you'll make that presentation to Pam Jeanette and Jackie Thomas, or
No, looks like
Couldn't be
Mike.
here.
Mike, okay.
Mike is filling in.
Well, it's my privilege. Of course, I had folks who served in my family, and we always thank people if we see them with a cap or anything on it. So it's a pleasure to present this to you, and thank you for your service, and thank you for all you do for this community and the region, really. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy.
Pam, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would. I want to thank the mayor and the city council for honoring those that are currently serving in the armed forces. That's what Armed Forces Day is all about. And as we come upon that, I want to thank the city of Morganton for just taking a moment to reflect on the sacrifices of our armed forces and the families that serve alongside them and also sacrifice. I am from Post 322 here, but the Morganton Community Post, we have 3 American Legion posts in the city of Morganton. And so it's an honor for us to accept this proclamation, and thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Pam.
you, guys.
Next, we have National Police Week. Whereas the members of the law enforcement agencies of our nation play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of all citizens, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement officers, and that law enforcement officers recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the men and women of our law enforcement agencies unselfishly devote themselves to their public duties, often at great personal risk and sacrifice to themselves and their families. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1791, more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, and whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day to honor those who have fallen or been disabled in the line of duty, now, therefore, I do proclaim the week of May 10th through the 16th, 2026, as National Police Week. I call upon all citizens to observe the week of May 10th through May 16th as National Police Week with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers past and present. I further call upon all the citizens of the city of Morganton to fly their flags at half-mast on May 15th, 2026, in memory of those officers who have given their lives in the line of duty. Therefore, I, Ronnie Thompson, Mayor of the City of Morganton, do hereby proclaim May 10th through 16th, 2026, as National Police Week. Adopted this 4th day of May, 2026, Ronnie Thompson, Mayor, Renee Carswell, City Clerk. And Butch, if you'll make that presentation. Chief, if you'll come forward.
Chief, wait till I get down here. Chief, May is a pretty somber month. You stop and think about this in honor of fallen police officers and public safety people, and then Memorial Day at the end where we honor our deceased, our battle-suffered veterans. Thank you, and make sure your guys know how very, very much we do appreciate as we stop and honor those that have. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for this proclamation and for recognizing National Police Week here in our community. National Police Week holds deep meaning for law enforcement across the country. It's a time to honor the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty and to remember the families who carry that loss every day. Their courage and their legacy will never be forgotten. It's also a time to recognize the officers who continue to serve, those who put on the badge each day with a commitment to protect, uphold the law, and build trust within our communities. Policing is not just about enforcement, it's about relationships. It's about showing up in difficult moments, making fair and just decisions, and working alongside our community to create a safer place for everyone. On behalf of our department, I want to say thank you to the community for their support. We don't take their trust for granted. We remain committed to earning it every single day through transparency, professionalism, and service. And to our officers and their families, thank you. Your dedication, sacrifice, and resilience are what make this work possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have another proclamation, which is National Public Works Week. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Morganton. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Morganton gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, be it now resolved, I, Mayor Ronnie Thompson, do hereby designate the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2026, as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contribution they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the city to be affixed this 4th day of May, 2026. I'm going to ask Chris Jernigan if he'll make that presentation, to Michael Chapman, Director of Public Works, and Randy Smith, Director of Water Resources. If they'll come forward, please.
Don't take his right hand.
What is it, Kevin? What is it?
Gentlemen, I'm kind of amazed that one week in May, we're going to celebrate and
Right?
pay respect to the people who keep us safe.
Comes after
The following week, we're going to pay
NC3C.
respect to the men and women who keep us happy. Because your
CD number
staff are
2
the ones
under
who
recognitions.
really
That's
keep
it.
everything rolling, and I truly believe we take it for granted. The line in here, the public interest it is in public interest for citizens, civic leaders, and children in this city of Morganton to gain knowledge and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. I can't emphasize that enough. I just don't believe that we as citizens truly understand the hard work that your staff do and all the things that we take for granted. We just think water's always going to be there and the trash is going to magically disappear. But it's a lot of hard work, and your guys and the ladies who work with you are just doing a super job. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate all of you and for all you do.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's always an honor to accept this proclamation every year. I know what our staff does and the hard work and dedication they put into their jobs. And so it's nice to get a formal recognition. It's also very, very much appreciated. And I also want to just thank the Public Works staff for everything they do. I want to thank our mayor and our council for their support. I want to thank Sally, Keith, and Rob for guidance, and all the department heads and their staff for the support that they give us and working with us as a team. It takes everybody working together to make all this happen. So, so we're just thankful to be a part of the team. Thank you.
And I just want to reiterate what Michael was saying. We appreciate the support of the council, the mayor, and the city in general. So with the field that we're in, a lot of times what we do is out of sight, out of mind. And to some degree, if we're successful doing our jobs, you don't think about us being there. The infrastructure, as long as it stays in the ground, or, with the public works and all the different services that they offer, we try to do those things efficiently and effectively. And I really appreciate the staff we have at our water treatment and wastewater treatment facilities, and those staff members that are out late at nights trying to get to water breaks and make sure sewers are flowing. Again, it's not a lot of times that things are advertised, especially in a positive light, but I'm extremely thankful to those individuals and blessed to have them. So thank you again.
Next, we have a special recognition. The North Carolina City and County Commissioners Association have awarded the Excellent in Communications Award to our Public Information Officer, Janelle Sigmund. She will be accepting the award. She received second place in the category of 2026 videography for, quote, remembering Helene, end of quote. Chris White, Allie Rose, and Ronnie Romes with the County of Burke, and Goebel with the Idea Complete will also be in attendance. And I'll ask Mayor Pro Tem Wendy if you'll make that presentation.
Oh, it's an honor to make this presentation. And, we all were affected by Helene. And we can go back to this video and either have that reminiscent, which is kind of sad, but at the same time to see how we have grown from the time Helene came and where we are today. So I thank you all, because it's been a team effort to get this in place, and I'm so proud to award you all the second place award. Thank you. You're welcome, honey.
Okay, who's the spokesperson?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a few things. First, thank you for recognizing us. We are just super thrilled about this. There were a lot of entries going up against this, so we are very, very happy about it. And like Wendy was saying, this documentary showed the resiliency of our community and all the devastation that Helene brought. And I know that the award says City of Morganton on it, but it is much more than just me and Chad that did this. It's all the people standing behind me and all the people that we interviewed. There was so much that went into this documentary, and we're just very, very happy that it did well. And I wanted to say thank you to Chad, who's running the live stream for this meeting too. He wasn't able to pop down again, but he helped a lot with this too. And if you want to watch the documentary again, you can search Remembering Helene on YouTube, and it should pop right up. So anyways, if anybody else.
It's a great video, great video.
Mm-hmm.
On behalf of the county, we want to come to you and say thank you for this recognition as well. It means a lot to us and our team, but Corey doing the outstanding job in editing and getting that out in a push time frame was absolutely amazing. It's great to see what happens when the city and the county comes together to work and make things like this happen for our community. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Great. Next, we want to recognize Public Service Week, which is May 3rd through the 9th. We've talked about public works. This is public service. The City Council invites all citizens to join them in celebrating Public Service Recognition Week during the first week of May. This week gives us an opportunity to pause and acknowledge the dedication, professionalism, and quiet commitment of the public employees who serve our city every single day. These individuals often work behind the scenes, but their impact is visual everywhere. In the safety of our neighborhoods, the reliability of our infrastructure, the quality of our public spaces, and the responsiveness of our local government. Public service is not simply a profession, it is a commitment to helping people improve the lives of others. Whether responding to emergencies, maintaining our streets and utilities, supporting community development, or ensuring that essential services run smoothly, our public employees form the backbone of our community we are proud to call home. Their work strengthens public trust, enhances quality of life, and helps shape the kind of city we want. In moments of crisis and in the routines of daily life, they show up with skill, care, and dedication. On behalf of the City Council, I wish to extend our sincere gratitude to the employees of the City of Morganton and all public employees for their service. We recognize your efforts, we value your contribution, and we thank you for helping create and sustain the community we all enjoy. Let us take that week, the first week of May, and every opportunity to show our appreciation and support for those who serve the public good. Thank y'all.
Awesome.
Next, I'd like to acknowledge Kevin Baxter, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM. Kevin, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening to you and the members of the council. Thank you all for allowing me a few moments here at your meeting this evening. I just wanted to start by acknowledging that over the weekend I ran into Assistant City Manager Sandra Marston, who reminded me it was about 9 years ago this month when we sat down in the grind with Sharon Jablonski, and they had to read me the riot act because I was being a challenge, if you can believe that, as it related to an event we were planning later that fall, which was the first event we ever hosted here in Morganton. And she said, I told you then, I'm going to tell you now, you just need to trust us. And I said, you know what? You were right then, and you're right now. And so fast forward to the last 12 months, and we had an incredible opportunity foisted upon us by the UNC system and the Board of Governors to welcome them to the city of Morganton for their only offsite of the year. And I said, I need to make one call before I can commit to this, Chancellor. And I called City Hall and sat down immediately with your city manager and basically threw my mercy at the court and asked if it would please the city to host this delegation of around 200 individuals and take over in a way for a couple days. And she, without question, said, we got this, we're going to do this, you can count on us. And count on them we did. And it was an absolutely spectacular event this past month here in Morganton. We had just over 200 visitors from Raleigh at the UNC system, all members of the Board of Governors but one, and every chancellor but one from across the state of North Carolina, as well as their deputies. And to a person, and this is not hyperbole, to a person, they remarked that this is the most impactful visit they had ever made to a community outside of Raleigh. As I don't think Raleigh counts, we're just going to dismiss them out of hand. And the reason is because the hospitality and the warmth were not engineered, they were pure. That's who we are, to y'all are. I'm joined tonight by my colleague Justin Gildner, our Director of Campus Safety, and he wanted to be here this evening specifically because part of my thanks is to Chief Lander and his team, who went out of their way to meet very significant demands, we'll put it that way, over about a 72-hour period. They staffed up, they were everywhere they were asked to be and then some, and they really delivered in a way that shocked in a positive way our UNC system counterparts. They said the coordination among allied agencies, the presence and disposition of our law enforcement professionals in the city of Morganton are to be commended. And so we appreciate Chief Lander and his team for their incredible work throughout the visit. We also appreciate the incredible lift that was handled by Sharon Jablonski, Sharon Davis, the entire team at Community House. I think they borrowed staff from every department for the visit. And it it was, as President Hahn said, one of the most memorable experiences he can remember ever visiting another community outside of their headquarters. So that's a true testament to y'all, and I'm not just throwing around words. I'm being totally sincere when I say that you touched for the better leaders from across our state in a moment where could have gone either way, and it went spectacularly well. I appreciate the mayor and members of the council for being present for parts of the visit, and I also appreciate Sally and her team for doing what they always do, but doing it under a very significant microscope and overperforming as if that were possible. So from Chancellor Roberts, our Board of Trustees, our entire institutional family, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for being incredible partners we can always count on, and I'm sorry for being such a pain, but appreciate y'all.
We've learned to love you.
Kevin, thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, upcoming events. In City Hall, we have Art in the Park this month. Joanne.
Randy. Forgot Randy. Drought.
Randy.
Randy Smith.
Okay, Randy. Randy, please come forward.
Lots of stuff for May.
There you go. So I'm here to discuss a little bit of hot topic lately, and that is to do with our drought stages. So as you all know, as of Friday, we have entered into a stage 2 low inflow protocol, and just wanted to review these things with the council and the community so you guys understand when you hear these terms such as low inflow protocol as to how these drought conditions come about, and anyways, how we come to the determinations that we do with what we're going to do about it. So the Catawba Water Drought Management Advisory Group declares droughts in the Catawba Wateree River Basin composed from Duke Energy, public water suppliers, state and federal agents. They implement the low inflow protocol to manage water use requiring voluntary or mandatory reductions based on these 3 things. Okay, the stream flows, which lake reservoir levels, and data from the U.S. Drought Monitor. The purpose of this low inflow protocol is to establish procedures for the reductions in water use during periods of low inflow to the Catawba Wateree River Basin. The low inflow protocol was developed on the basis that all parties with interest in water quality will share the responsibility to establish priorities and to conserve this limited resource. The LIP status will change due to worsening drought conditions, but as we recover to less restrictive states, all 3 triggers must support a stage being lowered, and new actions will need to be implemented due to the stages. And so the Catawba Wateree Drought Management Advisory Group, it was founded back in 2006, and it is based off a nonprofit partnership formed by 18 public water utilities and Duke Energy to collaboratively manage water resources and long-term water needs along the Catawba Wateree River Basin. It emerged after a multi-year drought in between 1998 to 2002, and it brought attention to the vulnerability of the water supply in the Catawba Wateree in conjunction with Duke Energy's hydro relicensing process. So Duke Energy operates 12 hydroelectric stations along the Catawba Wateree, and it flows through 11 associated reservoirs or lakes along 225 miles of the Catawba Wateree River Basin. And the Catawba Wateree is very important because these facilities along the Catawba Wateree generate electricity for about 3.7 million homes and serve between 2 and 2.5 million people with water. The Catawba Wateree Basin covers more than 5,600 square miles, spanning 26 counties from McDowell County from the headwaters near Old Fort, North Carolina, to where it joins the Congaree River in Lake Marion before it goes into the Santee River system and out to sea. And as you see, the lakes, Lake James, Lake Roadhiss, Lake Hickory, Lookout Shoals, Lake Norman, Mountain Island Lake, Lake Wiley, Fishing Creek Reservoir, Great Falls Reservoir, Rocky Creek Reservoir, and Lake Wateree. These are all a part of the Catawba watery chain and reservoirs for not only drinking water and recreation, but also power generation. So all these communities along this area, we're all impacted the same way and under the same low inflow protocol. Now, this can also happen in other river systems and watersheds, okay? But us being a part of the Catawba Watery, we adjust to the low inflow protocol that our advisory group that we're a part of, dictate. So here is a map of the lakes, and on the right-hand side, the associated communities. And this is the three factors that they're looking into, or anyways, majority of them. And as you see, the limiting factor here is, I don't know if you guys can see the number there, but it's the 3-month or the 6-month average for the stream levels is at 43%. So that is the main deciding factor of where we are right now with our stage 2 low inflow protocol. The other factors, which is reservoir storage, and then the 3-month average, you see are holding on okay, but we're way below. We're in between a stage 3 and a 4 with the stream flow indicator. This graph, I don't know if you can see the numbers or not, but it actually goes in inverse. So basically a -1, which is the very top number, is considered normal conditions, okay? A 0 is kind of where you're starting to get in drought conditions, but nothing, just kind of a precursor, basically, to drought conditions. And then as you get into 1, which we were in with voluntary restrictions, and then 2, as you see on the very left-hand side of the graph, this was back in the 2007-2008 time period. And again, this was started back in 2006. So during this time period was the only time in recent history that we've been in the stage 3. And currently on the right side of the graph, you can see that we've just now went into stage 2. So hopefully we can stay in stage 2 and not go into 3. But all those indicators will be looked into, and the advisory group will warrant to stage 3 if necessary. But hopefully we can get some rain soon. So this is, the left-hand side is from April the 9th as far as the drought conditions, and this one on the right is from April 30th. So you see how conditions in the southeast have declined extremely. And again, we have one of the, I think it's the third highest or least amount of third driest since 1889 for the first 3 months of the year. So what do we do whenever we get into a low inflow protocol stage is activated? So we basically refer to our water shortage response plan, which each water system that serves over 1,000 people or 1,000 connections or more than 3,000 people is required under general statute to have this document. And it basically outlines what we do to help conserve and reduce water consumption. And it establishes authority for declaration of a water shortage, defines different phases of water shortage severity, and outlines appropriate responses from each phase. So in our phase 2 or stage 2 mandatory restrictions, all customers are expected to reduce their water use by 10% in comparison to their previous month's water bill. And anyways, this is, and it specifically says to limit amount of water used on your lawns and landscaping only between hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. and to refrain from water being used to wash impervious surfaces such as driveways and sidewalks. Now, as far as other ways that we might recommend that people conserve water, these have been listed: fixing leaks, shorten showers, look into toilet efficiencies, dishwashing, and that goes for laundry also, to run full loads. Have good kitchen habits. Just don't let your water sit there and run. And outdoor conservation methods would be smart watering, Sweep and don't use water if possible. Apply mulch to help contain the moisture. Reuse water that you might capture while warming up your water or using to rinse vegetables and things, and cover your pools to help with evaporation and the need to use more water. And as far as the city of Morganton, for our internal reductions, we are not irrigating the ball fields or parks. We have a substantial reduction in watering planters, landscape beds, and grounds. We have postponed opening the city's splash pads at Martha's Park and MLK Park. Shutting down fountains and beautification areas, and these are non-drinking fountains, so drinking fountains will remain usable. No power washing of sidewalks, buildings, or other impermeable surfaces unless it is in response to an emergency or unsafe conditions. And all departments are limiting vehicle washing. And we're also postponing hydrant flushing and training exercises that involve water unless, of course, there is an emergency or to ensure public health. So I appreciate your time and everybody's conservation methods, and hopefully we'll be back up to our normal criteria before too long. So everybody pray for rain, and hopefully we'll get some soon.
Amen.
Randy, thanks so much. Lots of information.
Yeah.
Okay, next in City Hall, we have Art in the Park. Joanne Pippin has Love Our Parks. This is the exhibition continues on the theme of America 250 for Art in the Hall this year. 46 watercolor paintings represent her travels and volunteering in America's national parks and public lands. The Farmers Market during the month of May. Farmers Market will be every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 300 Beach Street, and every Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 111 North Green Street. The City of Morganton has a blood drive Thursday, May 7th from 9 a.m. to 1:30. The art crawl will be Thursday, May 21st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. TGIF Friday, every Friday in May from 6 to 10 at the courthouse lawn will be our TGIF concert series. Under Parks and Recreation, the Collett Street Recreational Pool will open Friday, May 29th. The splash pads will be decided depending upon drought conditions. The Parks and Recreation are taking registrations for swim lessons, tennis lessons, and summer camps. You can call 438-5350. Public Safety, Coffee with a Cop is at Canal Coffee Wednesday, June 10th from 2026 from 8:30 a.m. until 9:30. Sally, anything from Municipal Power Agency 1?
Yes, at this time, would like to tell everyone that on the 20th of April, we had our special meeting and the council approved our power purchase agreements with Duke Energy. It's called a power sales agreement because they sell to us and we buy from them. And those were approved till a term to expire in 2043, and that goes along with the life of the nuclear plant, and that has solidified our relationship with Duke Energy and us being able to continue to buy electricity and sell it to our customers.
Anything else?
Nothing at this time.
Under consent agenda, I believe we have 4 items, if you'll cover those.
We do, and would ask you to do those in a single motion unless you want something handled separately. That includes minutes from our regular meeting on April 6th, and then the special meeting we just talked about held on April the 20th. It includes awarding a contract, actually 2 contracts at the wastewater treatment plant. One is to replace the polymer pump skid and tank, and that is included in our budget, and that is to Kemp Construction, and that is in an amount not to exceed $159,790. And then also a contract to Stat Incorporated in the amount of $129,450, also included in our budget, to remove and dispose of up to 120,000 gallons of solids from our digester tanks. Also establishing a contingency with that staff will manage if they get in and find any additional solids, then at the same unit price, we will be able to complete that project. And then finally, a budget amendment accepting reimbursement. Several special events that have occurred over the last few months with the community house and purchasing food and other supplies over there. So we are amending that budget in the amount of $44,400.
Do any members of council wish to have any items removed from the consent agenda? To have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is consideration of approval of a Main Street restaurant loan application from Union Grill. I'll call on our finance director, Jesse, to please come forward and give us some details. Jesse, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. So just a refresher, this is two actions. The first one is for the Main Street Loan Program. That is something that we fund every year, and we work with you on how much, we decide to fund through our capital program in the Main Street budget. This loan is specifically for downtown restaurant recruitment. We had a total amount this year to be able to fund, and so we haven't used it yet. So very fortunate that this is for 112 West Union LLC, which is going to be in Old Bellavino. It's for an amount of $75,000. This loan program does not have any job requirement. They are making extensive amendments to the building, and this is for kitchen equipment specifically. It's a half loan, half grant. If they make it through the process, we forgive basically the second part of their grant. The second is the CDBG loan, very similar in nature. This one, however, is tied to our entitlement funds that we receive through the CDBG program. And that, again, is a budget amount we set every year and try to have small business recruitment. It's not specific to downtown or specific to restaurants. Typically restaurants, doesn't have to be. This does have a job requirement, and LMI type of jobs. The dollar amount for this is also $75,000, and that will be a total of 5 full-time jobs or 10 part-time. It has a 1-year monitoring where they turn in information to our CDBG program to make sure that they're meeting the job requirement, and this will go to other investment that they're making into the building for dining equipment and all sorts of things. They're spending about double or more what it is that we're giving them. So very excited to have this come into downtown.
Yeah, their total private investment that they're looking toward building renovations is upwards of $500,000.
Any questions for Jesse? What's the wish of council?
I'll enter a motion to approve a $75,000 loan from the Main Street Restaurant Loan Program to Union Grill, Inc. and 112 West Union LLC for the renovation and operation of a restaurant located at 112 West Union Street.
Thank you, Butch. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I need a second motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve a $75,000 loan from the Community Development Block Grant CDBG Loan Program to Union Grill Incorporated and 112 West Union LLC for the renovation and operation of a restaurant located at 112 West Union Street.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Wendy. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Jesse, thank you so much. Next is consideration of a resolution giving preliminary approval for the issue of multifamily housing revenue bonds for some apartments. I'll ask Sally if you'll cover those, please.
Absolutely. So this is a first for us, and I think it's a great opportunity. We talk a lot about the need for housing and all types of housing, and especially a need for affordable housing in our community. And so we have been approached by a developer that is looking to develop an affordable housing project here to be called Linhart Landing, Inc. And under the North Carolina General Statutes, we are authorized to enter into an agreement, and this is a preliminary agreement. It's a inducement resolution, basically. Means that we don't ultimately go forward with this if at any point during the project it doesn't get funded or any of that. This is just to start the process. We are being asked to be the conduit debt issuer for this project. And this project will be funded by bonds, revenue bonds that would be issued, and that's what we're being asked to be a conduit issuer for $12 million worth. And then also funding from the Housing Finance Agency. And this project is also seeking funding from some disaster recovery funds that are available in Western North Carolina. The project is a 144-unit low and moderate income rental housing development. It's going to be located on approximately 25 acres of land, and that is on East Union Street, formerly owned by Linhart family. It will include a mix of studio, 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units for individuals and for families with incomes between 30% and 70% of the area median income. For this type of a debt issuance, we would not, the city will have no legal responsibility, no financial risk, no liability whatsoever for the payment of the principal or interest on the bonds. It will not affect our debt rating or our legal limits. What it does allow is for this developer to apply for 4% money through the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. And also, we will be represented by a bond attorney from McGuire Woods, LLP. That is the bond counsel that does the majority of these deals in North Carolina. They will represent the city in this transaction. All the costs will be paid by the developer. There will be a 1% fee that would come to the city to pay us for serving as the issuer. That money has no restriction on it, and we could use that for any project that we see fit. The developer proposing this has tremendous experience doing affordable housing projects in North Carolina, has completed more than 20 of projects similar to this in North Carolina. And we actually made some calls to a couple of other communities that he has done deals with and received very positive responses back from them, saying that they would do another one of these projects in a heartbeat. So if we would like to move forward and make this an opportunity, we'd need you to approve this preliminary resolution tonight. There will be, as this project goes forward, the Housing Finance Agency process. This is a multi-month process, and there will be other actions as this project goes on. If Housing Finance Agency accepts the application, it moves forward. They ultimately approve the deal. There will be other actions that the city will take, and we will be guided through this by the bond attorney.
What's the wish of council?
Motion to approve a resolution giving preliminary approval for the issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds to finance the acquisition, construction, and equipping of Leonard Landing Apartments.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any discussion? Sally, like you said, it's a not just one-time deal. It's going to be several months.
Absolutely, and there'll be multiple stages to this process with things coming back before you.
Okay.
And Sally, I want to thank the staff for the work that they did in, this is new. It's new to me on my third tenure here, and it's a little scary. So I feel very confident that the due diligence has been done by our staff so that we can go ahead and move forward with this.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor of the motion? Say aye. Okay, the motion passes. Next is consideration of a contract for the City of Morganton Bethel Park restroom facilities project and budget amendments related to the park. I'll call on Brian Fish to give us some information. Brian, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Council. Good evening. So with Bethel Park, we're getting closer to being completely finished over there. We've got the fencing company should be there tomorrow to complete the area for the small dog park, and a shade structure for those the dog parks has been ordered and will be delivered in the coming weeks to be installed. The last major part of the project are the restrooms. They will be built when you come into the park. The new bridge in the main entrance, the big parking lot, where you cross that bridge, if you look to your left, that grassy area, there will be where we'll put the new bathrooms. And they'll be similar to the restrooms that we currently have at Shuey Park. And also part of that, we will improve the coming into the park, the drive, instead of coming down and doing a 90 and then another 90. We'll hopefully straighten that up a little bit and then add some more parking. So there'll be parking currently right when you come in, all the parking is on the right side of the park, but it should add parking spaces on both sides of that parking lot. And a lot of work's been put into this with D&D. Mark Hall and Richard Smith have done quite a bit of work to get this ready. And we're glad to be able to award that and get that project started and get that completed as soon as possible.
Any questions for Brian?
May I say one thing? So
Sure.
we received informal bids because the dollar amount of this allowed us to do it in an informal fashion. And those were received by D&D department on April 14th. We received 9 bids. And you had the bid tabulation included in your project. The lowest responsible bid was submitted by Ridgeline Building Corporation of Morganton, North Carolina. And that is for the base bid, the parking improvements, alternate 1 and alternate 2, which include the improvements that Brian just described for you. And so we are asking you to consider awarding a contract for $441,515. We would also ask that you approve a 5% contingency, $22,076, allowing the staff to control that if anything comes up in the project that we need to consider a change order for, so we can move on without coming back before you for that dollar amount. And would also like to recognize the Morgan Recreation Foundation for being willing to contribute $340,261 to this project, which is helping the city match the Partif grant that we had.
Excuse me. What's the wish of council?
I'll make a motion to award a contract to Ridgeline Building Corporation of Morganton, North Carolina in the amount of $441,515 for the City of Morganton Bethel Park Restroom Facilities Project, and to allow the mayor and city manager to execute all agreements regarding the contract.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Wendy. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I need a second motion, please.
Motion to authorize a contingency of 5% in the amount of $22,076 and to allow staff to manage such contingency.
Thank you, Wendy. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Butch. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I need a third one, please.
My turn. I'd like a motion to approve a budget amendment to accept restricted contribution from the Morganton Recreation Foundation in the amount of $340,261 for the construction of new bathroom facilities at Bethel Park.
Thank you, Butch. I have a
Of course
motion.
you do.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I need another motion, please.
Guess it's my turn again.
Motion, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve a budget amendment to reduce the overall project budget in the amount of $79,901 for unused contingency for construction at Bethel Park.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Wendy. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Brian, thanks so much.
That last one was left over from our original project budget and getting everything in the right category.
That's wonderful.
And I would also say that last week, we had a wonderful grand opening
Yes.
of Bethel Park.
And there were people on the court, there were people
Everywhere.
walking. It was really, really nice.
We've been waiting a long time for that.
And if folks haven't been out, they really need to go see this. It's turned out beautifully.
Okay, next on our agenda is consideration of an ordinance amending Parts 7 and 8 of the Code of Ordinances to regulate electric-assisted bicycles and electric stand-up scooters. I'll call on Keith Rigsby to give us some information.
Thank you, Mayor Thompson. So this agenda item has been the subject of some additional and more recent discussions among city staff. And it appears, based on that, that the current draft needs some further discussion and refinement before it'll be ready for council action. So we're asking council to consider moving this item to a future meeting agenda.
I'll entertain a motion to consider moving this to a later agenda.
So moved.
Okay, Butch, Wendy, you second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Keith. And next, we have consideration of the annexation petition submitted by Pappas Properties for property located at 317 and 319 Enola Road, and to call for a public hearing. Keith?
Yeah, this item involves a voluntary annexation petition received by the city from the group that you see there, Pappas Properties Development, and also the current owners of the properties being located at 317 and 319 Enola Road. These properties adjoin our city limits, so this is a contiguous annexation. So tonight, at this stage, we're asking council to consider the items you see on your summary agenda there, to accept the clerk's certification of the sufficiency of the petition, to now call for a public hearing and set a date for the public hearing, and to direct that staff publish the required newspaper notice with regard to the public hearing.
Okay, any questions for Keith? I need a motion, please.
Motion to accept the clerk's certification of the sufficiency of the annexation petition received from Pappas Properties LLC.
Okay. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I need a second motion, please.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution calling for a public hearing on June 1st, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the City Hall Council Chamber to consider this annexation petition and directing city staff to publish an appropriate notice of public hearing as required by law.
Thank you, Butch. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is consideration of appointments to the Human Relations Commission. These are mayoral appointments. I'm going to reappoint Juan Monroe and to appoint Sergeant Tony Paterno to the Human Relations Commission for terms to expire on May 3rd, 2027.
2029.
2029. Okay.
Yeah, I think that should say 29.
Okay.
3-year term.
This is a 3-year term. Now we have a 30-day notice for vacancies on boards and commissions. So anyone who'd like to serve Morganton, this is your chance to apply for these vacancies on boards and commissions. The first is Board of Adjustment. It's one term expiring. Bryant Lindsay is city alternate number 2. It expires on June 1st, 2026. We have a Cable Commission. 2 terms are expiring. There are 3 vacancies. Aaron Denny and Leslie Cawthorn have terms expiring on June 1st, 2025. There's also a vacancy for clergy, a high school student, and 1 person from AARP. The Community Appearance Program, 3 terms are expiring. Those are mayoral appointments. Martha Franklin, Leslie Geezy, and James Bagley have terms that expire June 30th, 2026. The Main Street Advisory Board, 6 terms are expiring. Those are mayoral appointments. Scott Brooks, Ashley Bunner, Ben Belton, Bryant Lindsay, Eddie McJimson, and Pete Wallace have terms expiring June 30th, 2026. Under Planning and Zoning, 3 terms are expiring. Those are council appointments. Aaron Kaiser, Don Smith Jr., and Rick Lungenfeld have terms expiring June 3rd, 2026. And in our Recreation Advisory Committee, their 2 terms are expiring and 1 vacancy. These are council appointments. Mike Hassan and Cindy Kerner has terms expiring June 30th, 2026.
And I believe we skipped the ABC board.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
We have consideration appointment to the ABC board. What's the council wishes? It's appointment by council. What's the wish of council?
I'll make a motion to appoint Barry Oden to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for a term to expire August 5th, 2029, and to designate Vice Chairman Mark Miller as the chairman effective immediately.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Wendy. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anything else to come before council? If not, we stand adjourned.